computer. Okay, everyone's shaking their head.
You're recording again.
Heard it.
Okay.
Yay.
Oh, I'm muting all of you. I love hearing your voices, but I'm going to mute so you can follow along with me. And again, I apologize to everyone who missed, and I'm going to have to send out an email and hopefully get them in, because I know when I finish, I'm going to have a bazillion emails saying I couldn't get in. Let's see. I'm going to add spotlight and remove this. There we go. So welcome to my quick sketch demonstration. It's 11 after, but we're going to get going on this. One thing that I learned over the years, I've been traveling a lot, and I started out with big paintings, and I've gone down to using sketchbooks when I travel. This is actually one that was put together from a pad, and then we use the outside for the border. And you know, they're just fun little sketches that I have in my journals. Everything from, you know, cities to plants, seashells. This is my Watercolors by the Sea journal, and I have a lot of fun with it. So by using a journal, you're taking all the pressure off of doing masterpieces, right? They're just fun, and it's part of your story. They also are treasures. I love my journals. When we had the fires near Bend years ago, I grabbed my journals first. It's like my story. Sometimes I write in my journals, and oh, these are fun. Lots of flowers today because that's what this is about. Let's see. So we're going to be doing some hollyhocks, and I'll show you a little bit about my methods, and we'll just have fun creating a hollyhock painting. These are some examples of quick sketch, and you'll see that I use a pen for my drawing. And the reason that is so important is it helps you shift into drawing organically. If you can't erase, you just keep going and accept what happens. And it's kind of surprising what happens when we do that. Some of these are from different programs that I teach, or they're just a collection. This is kind of an odd one out, but the pineapple is sort of fun. It's been tulip season. I've always got lots of tulips going this time of year. This was, where was this? This was in Aruba, actually. And I'll go ahead and put those aside. Mute all. There we go. So my friend who's supposed to be my co-host probably couldn't get in. I even do paintings without drawing, and just have fun with it. It's all about experimenting. The pens I have, I grabbed all my permanent fine point markers, and these are, let's see, Sharpies are great. The Faber-Castell artist pit pen you can get in a variety of colors, different sizes. I tend to like the extra fine, extra small. This is a micron, DAINAWYW. These, you can get a set of these on Amazon. They're kind of nice. And recently I got these Rotring, ROTRING, from Carla, who I was probably trying to get in. So there we go, a variety of pens. What I do is just grab one and make sure it's got good flow. You don't want a pen that doesn't have enough ink in it and doesn't flow. So that's my pen, my paintbrush. I said have a good round. And I like the size 0 to 4 of the Dynasty Black Gold 311. And my newsletter that I'll send out in a couple days will have the link to the video and my supply list. And I also made a video about my supplies so that you don't really have to take any, let's see, any notes because I've got it all for you. Procreate. I have Procreate. I see that in the questions and I'm trying to learn it right now. This is a standard size brush. This is a 12 or a 10 is great if you've got it. Okay, so I think I'll grab my two. My pinks are in this yellow palette, which I really like. And I use Daniel Smith Watercolors. All the colors are on the supply list that I'll be sending out. And in the video, which I show you how to fill your palette. I have 2 water containers. I collect them wherever I travel. This one is from Portugal. And this one is from Laurel, Mississippi. And let's see. I use a Holbein spray bottle to spritz my colors. You want to put them in your palette plenty early so they're dry before your workshop or before you travel, especially dry. Okay, now where did I put? There's my quick sketch. I'm feeling a little flustered because of my technical difficulties, but we are going to have fun with this and I'll figure it out later. All right, there's the picture that I'm using. And I'm going to bring my camera down so we get the biggest size possible. Maybe I'll use that one. 6 by 8 is a good size, 7 by 10, somewhere in there. The bigger you go, the longer it takes. But for demonstration purposes, I'm going a little bit bigger. Not really worried about taping it down because it's just a sketch. And there we go. Make sure I've got everything close. And the photograph. So when I draw, and I learned this in college, and it just was so much easier to draw this way. And so I pretty much draw this way, everything I do. Organic shapes are the easiest. And what I tend to do is put my pen down and just keep going. So I'm going to start with this shape because everything kind of comes out from there. And I'm looking at the outside shape of that hollyhock. There's a petal that comes around. There. Now I'm looking at the inside. I did just kind of jump to the inside. And I'm actually going to cheat a little bit to draw that center, that yellow center. Now I've got some petals over here. This cuts behind, so I'm going to go ahead and pick up my pen. Draw that in. The goal is to keep your pen down as much as you can. And the thing is, you're your drawing will not be perfect, but it'll capture the essence of your subject. I mean, that, who knows what's going on in there, but it'll work. Maybe I'll do a little bit of that. There we go. That one looks really strange. This one reads well. Let's see, this has some of the buds coming out. So once again, I'm drawing the outer edge of the buds. I love this one. The neighbor in Utah that just has the most beautiful hollyhocks every year, and I'm always stalking the yard, waiting for those hollyhocks to bloom. But see, I'm just focusing on the outer edge. This is called continuous contour line drawing. And here I've got this other flower. So once again, I use the pen partly because it makes you accept whatever you draw, and you just get better and better as you go. And when I'm looking at, oops, I can come out further, my subject and drawing it, I'm actually looking at the subject more than I am my paper. Let's see, here's the center. And there's another center in there. There we go. I may draw in some of these petals. Like I said, if you have something that doesn't quite work, don't stress about it. Things kind of go right all the time, but it's still saying hollyhocks. Oh, this one's fun. Oh, there's some buds. And I'll put another one over here. It's not placed exactly right, but I don't care. And maybe I'll just bring the stem down. That works. I've got one more. Oh, I see. This was supposed to be part of that petal. See, if I miss a line, I just draw it in. It's okay. This will be fun for me to do again. I've got 4 photographs, so maybe we'll do a couple today, and I'll add it on again. And here. Beautiful flowers. I don't think I've actually ever grown my own hollyhocks. But when I see them, I get excited. The first time I ever saw them were in Taos, New Mexico. And I've been enthralled with them ever since. Oh, there's some, that works. I might make this a little thicker so I can do that. You can redraw a line. You could get involved in centers. In fact, I may do that. Oops, we got a little background noise. Beautiful. There's kind of a starburst in the center. I saw some beautiful hollyhocks in Provence that I got some pictures of. And I've taken a lot of photos at a place called Thanksgiving Point in Utah. Scrap piece. I'll show you a little bit of technique. This is a petal right there. And we are primarily using rose for this. You may have a different rose than mine. And what I see is they start out a little darker on the inside. We'll just experiment. So here, if it starts out darker, then paper towel. Then I rinse out my brush, lose some of that water, and I can pull some of that up. You can also stroke in a little bit with my brush. Or, so that was when I'm dry. Beautiful petal. Or you can paint when I'm wet, which can actually be easier for this. When I'm wet, you don't want to have so much water that if you pick up your paper, it's going to drip down. Now, as you're painting, when you dip your paint brush in the water, be sure to drag off the extra water. If you don't do that, you're going to end up with too much paint or too much water in your brush, and it's hard to control. This is about a milky consistency. And I hope I use permanent ink. That could be funny. And then I'm going to pull some of that out. There we go. So this is just experimenting. Maybe I want more paint. But when it's wet, it gives you more time to fuss with it. There we go. And you can pull some of that out. Now, if it starts to look a little spidery, see, I can just use my brush and minimize that. All right, so when I paint, yeah, I was just checking to make sure that ink was permanent. Okay. I also see in here, I see a little bit of purple. And let's do one more. I tend to go towards lavender in my shadows. There's my lavender, but you may not have lavender. You can always take some rose and ultramarine or cobalt or a phthalo blue green shade and make a nice purple. And that gives you some options. Let's try another wet and wet petal. So I teach online workshops all the time. A lot of people here are regulars in my classes. And usually we have, I don't know, maybe 50 people in a paint along, sometimes 16, depending on what the situation is. Okay, so I've got some purple on one end and some rose on the other. And I can just sort of tie that together. Maybe wet it down a little bit. This is a positive, kind of a positive vein when you paint it in. if you wet your brush, squeeze out the water, you can lift out a vein too, like that. We're not going to get too much into the veins because we want to make this fun and simple. But now we've got some different colors. I'm going to stay out of the centers and do a little bit of building with values. So right here, this one's pretty light. It's got a light side and a dark side. I'm going to just go ahead and wet the whole flower and drop in my rose and some of my purple or violet mix and just let it dry. And then I'll come back and do more with that. The goal here is to create one Hollyhocks painting because we have an hour. Oh, I missed a flower. Look at that. I met somebody who was wondering if I was going to get to that. There, I kind of like how this swings out and this swings out over here. So why not include it? Okay, here's one. What you want to do is watch out for painting a wet next to a wet. So I don't want to paint this flower. I'm going to go ahead and maybe I'll come over here. I wet the whole thing. And I've got my rose. And it's a little deeper over here, so I can use a little bit more paint to make it darker. Maybe a little bit of my lavender in here. So what you want to be careful when you put some paint down is to mingle the colors. Don't overstir them. And then you'll get that variety of mingling color, which can be really beautiful. I'm going to go ahead and squeeze out some paint or water out of my brush. And I can brush in just a few veins. Lift out. There we go. I can paint this one. And I'm totally avoiding that center shape because I want to paint those separately. I've got a few extra lines in my petals. And now I'm using thicker paint on the inside, kind of like what I did on those little petal studies. Let's use a little bit of my purple mix. Why not? It's always more interesting to vary your colors a little bit. I think up here, there's some light hitting it, so I can go a little lighter. And the way you go lighter and darker, it all depends how much water and how much paint you have in your brush. And that comes with time. People always ask me, well, how do I get that? And it's like the more you paint, the easier that becomes. Well, I want to go even darker right in here. This is that Fabriano paper, 25% cotton. I like it for quick sketches because it's a little smoother and the paint does pretty well on it. if I'm painting a portrait or something important, I tend to use a different, the 100% cotton. I'm just lifting out or painting through the color that's on the center and dragging it outwards. So I get some of that vine or veining in there. Get a little more color. So while it's wet and shiny, you can play with it. But once it starts to dry, you can't really do anything else. That's almost red in the center on this one. So I'm going to put in a few red veins, drop in a little bit of that red. It's starting to dry, so I need to leave it alone. And that's got lots of color. Like I said, while it's still shiny wet, I can mess around. This is starting to dry, so I need to leave it alone. Okay, where can I go? I can't do this, but I can come up here because these are wet around that and this one. Let's see, a good yellow green is, you can use quinacridone gold or your lemon yellow with your blue. It says ultramarine blue. You can mix your own greens, or you can use the greens. I have phthalo yellow green and I have green apatite as greens. So I always like having a variety of greens to work with. And I'm going to start fairly light, like the lemon yellow green at the top of these. Not exactly trying to, have it real defined. And then I'll go in with a little bit darker green. This is phthalo yellow green, or you can use your blue and your quinacridone gold. Get a nice little bit darker green. And now I will bring that in. I can work pretty fast. And when I do look at that, I see little bits of that pink popping out. And maybe right there. What color did I just get? Rose. Don't do that. There we go. There's that kind of yellow green. Might as well come down in here. When I see it down below, it almost has some more blue in it. So I'll just mix some of my cobalt blue into my greens. There we go. It's because it's in the shadow. It doesn't have the bright yellow green in it, but it doesn't hurt to bring some of that in so it ties in with what's up above. Now I'm the only one that needs to finish, so don't feel any stress. And even if you just paint one of the flowers, that's pretty good. There we go. I think this is a flower tucked in back there. You don't need to know exactly what it is. Okay, this one's pretty dry. Now notice I started with this because I wanted to get used to painting on my paper. I never start out right with the focal flower. I always kind of start off to the side. And then by the time I get to the star flowers, this is water. I'm putting some water down. I found that was easier. By the time I get to the star flowers, I'm pretty warmed up. And it goes pretty well. Let's see. I'm going to start on the outside. I see some purple around there. A little bit of that purple kind of around this edge. But it's mostly going to be the rosy colors. So here's rose, and I'll put that in the middle. Then I'll kind of pull that rose out towards the purple. There we go. So you can do a quick sketch flower in really just a few minutes, and they make wonderful gifts. One thing I would say is when somebody sends me flowers, I love painting my flowers and then sending them a thank you note. With the flowers as my thank you, my little quick sketch. If you have one that turns out particularly well, you can make prints of it. They can be really beautiful. I want to go deeper in here. So what I'm doing is I'm just using thicker paint to go deeper. Right in here, it really does get pretty intense in there. And my brush strokes go with the direction of those veins. There we go. If it becomes too regular, you want to keep it kind of random, lift out some veins. Remember, you can create a thirsty brush and you can lift as well as paint the veins in. I like that one. That one's turning out all right. I may put just a little bit of that red. I don't know why, but I see red when I look at that. I think these had the most color and the most interesting shapes. Oops, I accidentally came over to that one. Now, when I set up for a second one of these, I'll probably send out an email today. You're welcome to come again. I'll choose a different flower to draw. I always provide extras because you never know which one I'm going to feel like painting, or, you know, it's always nice to have choices. Okay. Now that these are done, I've got one more over here. Watercolor is so great to travel with. You can take it with you almost anywhere. I've painted a lot of cafe tables. People usually don't mind. Sometimes they think I'm going to take a long time, but I really don't. The only place I felt like they wanted me to hurry was in say mark square, because you know those tables are valuable and they don't want you sitting there unless you're buying stuff all day. But most places are pretty happy to have you sitting there for a while. Oh, I like that one. It's always the last one that comes out beautifully. Of course, it's not the most important. Now I'm mixing a darker, thicker mix. And I'm going to put that in right in here because we have the light and the shadows part of these flowers. And I'm just keeping it really simple. I'm not getting too involved. I want it just to basically be light and shadow. There we go. And I'll put this in there. And where can I do that? With this one. There's that kind of milky mix consistency. This petal right in here is darker. Right, that area right in there. Okay, I'm going to remember the iPad is the upper left-hand corner. I have an iPad. I just actually pulled it out and plugged it in so I could work with it. Oh, wonderful. I love the comments. I'm looking at. I came across your class when Eventbrite recommended it after I came across an online class in Scotland for sketching bumblebees. Now, I just never know how people find me. And it's always fun to hear because I do what I can to get the word out. It's usually word of mouth that makes a big difference. There, see all those colors in that? That one turned out pretty good. All right, this is dry. There's a shadow across it. I'm not really worrying about that with this one. But what I do like to try is when you have a petal in front, it tends to be lighter than the one behind it. So I'm just going to put a little more color on this so this stands out. And same with this one. And maybe this. And under here. There, now it's got a little more character. And those centers are just glaring at me. They need some color. Now I do one of these about once every quarter, free paint along. And I have an online program called Quick Sketch Watercolors where I take you to all different places around the world to paint quick sketch. Watercolors by the sea. You know, just visit my website and you'll see some of them. I have an online membership program where we paint. We've been painting Venice and Fabriano lately. And I do everything from really simple to more complex paintings. I do it for the love of painting and to see what happens when I teach something here and then you do beautiful things with it on your end. Just adding more rows to that center. Now it's popping out a little better. I've got a few of these gaps that I've kind of created. I'm going to take that in darker. Maybe this one. It gives it a little bit of depth. And I've already spent more time on this than I normally would, probably because I'm nervous about the people that I have to explain what happened. But I'll make it up to them. All right. So these centers are yellow. And I would say, you know, lemon yellow, new gamboge. This is kind of a nice bright yellow. You could use either one, or you could combine the two. Go ahead and put those in. And while that's drying, I can do the outer part because I don't want to do the green right next to it. Let's see, what is that? I'd say that's a deep purple. No, there's my blue and my rose. Push a little bit more towards the rose. And this is really thick paint right here. Very purple. And I'm just going to go ahead and put that in and around the center. This is fun. And we've got it over here. So as you're painting, you're looking for values, color harmony, ways to change up the colors. You know, I don't just use pink. I've got pink and purple in there, even a touch of red to add some surprise to it. Where's that? I'm going to take this even darker right in there. Can add a little bit more to my greens, and then I'm going to drop in that yellow green, and we will be finished. Pretty good. Well, here's my various green mixtures. I can just use a few brush strokes to break this up because they're not super solid shapes. They're buds. And so just by adding a few brush strokes, you can give these some character. We'll give that just a second to dry. While that's drying, I could have done this at the beginning, but I was more focused about just getting some character into your flowers. But if you're having a hard time with getting the values right and the amount of water to paint, this is my basic, yeah, I can put this watercolor consistency lesson. And I'll use the rose because we're using that a lot. Now, if you have a lot of water with the paint, it'll be fairly light. There we go. And I would call that herbal tea. Now, as I add more paint, not more water, I didn't even go into my water. As I add more paint, it'll get darker. This is probably about coffee. So herbal tea, coffee, milk, thicker, like whole milk. I didn't go into the water. I just want more paint. There we go. And that gets even darker. And then cream is really thick paint. And that'll go fairly darker in value. It's just using one color. So you can get used to that. The more you paint, the more you'll get used to it. And notice none of these have big ponds in them. Let's see, this is herbal tea, and that's extra light. Coffee or soda, whatever you want to call it. Light. This is milk, medium, and cream, dark. And I could take you many more levels, but I found that most of the time we're painting in here. And then sometimes we get a little darker, and here I used cream to go really dark. But just getting used to these different values, mixing them with any of your colors will make a difference in your paint. All right. Let's see, I think these are dry enough. I need a lemon, yellow, green. Let's see, there's my lemon yellow. I've got phthalo yellow, green. Or you can mix that with your phthalo blue green shade, or maybe you have Windsor blue or Antwerp blue. You could mix something like it. See, it's very similar. And I'd say that's a milky consistency. I'm just going to be very careful to drop that in because I don't want it to stir up that purple. I still want it to be bright. I wanted those centers to be nice and bright, so I kind of saved them to the end so I could get that pop of color. There we go. That's pretty bright for some hollyhocks today. And let's see, I sign with my pen. I could fuss with it a little bit more, but I think that's pretty good. Here's another one that I did even faster that I think is on the handout that you received. Oh, thank you, Cameron. That was sweet. Let's see, Karen, awesome. Oh, I'm seeing all kinds of things. Oh, Susan made it in. All right. Anyway, I will send an email out to everybody to let you know I'm going to do this again. And what I'd love for you to do is hold up your painting and I'll take a group shot. Oh, look at these. They're exciting. And if you didn't do it, just sit there and smile. We like to see you. Christine, I see some of you did it. I don't care if it's finished or not. Look at this beautiful field of hollyhocks. I'm so excited. Okay, I'm getting my camera ready. And oh, these are fabulous. Okay. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, and smile. So 1, 2, 3, cheese. Awesome. I see Sharon did the white one. I wanted to do the white one too, but I had to pick one or the other. So maybe as soon as I can get this set up again, please come back. Please come back and we will see, I'll add me. Please come back and we'll try it again, and I'll paint the white hollyhocks the next time. But this was fun. It kind of goes with my background. And does anybody have any questions? I'm going to spotlight a few. If you hold up your hollyhock you want to share with everybody. Okay, I see Pamela. My artists always do better than I do. That's stunning. Wow. Beautiful drawing. And she's muted. Thank you. I always say my students do better. I'm just going to pick on random people. Let's see, Sharon. There, I saw you.
Ooh, beautiful.
Yeah, you guys can say things. We like to celebrate. That's gorgeous, Sharon.
Thank you.
That's beautiful.
Isn't it? Eva.
Mhm.
Yeah, Eva's here.
Nice.
Oh, that's so pretty. Hi, Eva. I know Pearl was going to stay, but she probably couldn't get in the door. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's beautiful.
And no, they're always so soft and beautiful. Mandy. I'm trying to do as many as I can. Oh, Mandy,
nice.
that's gorgeous.
Second one. If you took
Wow.
your last class, second
Yes.
watercolor.
I remember. Yeah, you've
Thank you.
got great. You're very talented with your drawing, and your colors are gorgeous. Thank you, Mandy.
Thank I'm
Gallery,
learning from you.
it's fun. This is my favorite part because there's Mark.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
that's
It's like
great.
fireworks.
Beautiful.
Oh, that's
Lovely.
stunning. Martha, you could teach this.
I don't think so, but
It's
thank you.
Gorgeous.
It was fun.
Rosalind. You know, the oohs and
Oh,
ahs.
nice.
Isn't that nice?
Good.
With
Wow.
sparkles.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
she's got some light in there. Makes me want to do it again.
Yeah.
That might happen. Thank you. Okay, Sandra. I will come back, Sherry.
Oh, nice.
There.
Lovely.
Ooh, that's gorgeous.
Very
Wow. I think your colors just touch my heart. They're gorgeous. Thank you, Sandra. Okay, I saw Barbara, somebody else, Sherry was holding it up and then she took it down. Barbara,
Oh, nice.
it's exciting. Wow,
Lovely.
it's gorgeous. Don't we need to hear how wonderful we're doing? I mean, you need it. It's like you're kind of vulnerable when you hold up your painting. And then you hear from everyone.
Oh, I
"Look,
love that.
drawing. Holly, that's gorgeous. All these drawings are good. Can we just say that, Sherry? I see you. She's got really bright colors.
Wow.
Isn't that a wow? Very exciting.
Yeah.
One of these is good. Thank
That
you.
really pops.
That's
I need
good.
to do it again, though.
I know that feeling. I want to do it mine again. All right, Sherry. We play Spotlight. I always see my students do
Hi,
that.
Jerry.
There's
Hi,
Sherry.
Pam.
Thank
Beautiful.
You're
It
welcome.
is beautiful.
Fun. I enjoyed it.
I'm glad you did.
Thank you.
There's so much more to paint. Only so many days. Oh, I see one being held up. Jane. Speaker. Oh, that's a photograph.
It is. It's my Arizona Hollyhocks.
Oh, gorgeous.
Nice.
Oh, beautiful.
It's like the perfect picture.
Oh no. What's really interesting is that I went out to check them the other day, and I have a nest of quail that have 9 eggs. So I decided I better not go back.
Yeah, little babies. Oh, that's going to be exciting to see them running around.
Uh-huh.
Thank you for sharing that.
Sure.
I thought your picture was really bright.
Yeah, that's why.
Okay. Anybody else? I'm just looking. Oh, Rhoda. Rhoda, replace. There we go.
Oh, that's
Pretty.
nice.
That was
Wow.
really nice.
Very
Very
delicate.
Mhm.
So you're getting lots of love from the audience here. Yeah.
Thank you.
Fabulous drawing, beautiful colors. You can paint anything. You can paint hollyhocks. They're really
Beautiful.
beautiful and fluid. Joanne. Oh, wait, I've got another page. Let's see, where did she go? Hold on, I lost Joanne. View. And Rhoda is still on the screen. Yeah, it's made me stuck. Speaker. I'll put it back on me. Play spotlight. Let's see, gallery. And there, April. I see April. Play spotlight. There we go. Hi, April.
Hi. I'm excited to try this one again. I was really rushed. I was trying to take a little break here from work to do something fun for myself for once. So,
oh, it's fabulous.
But
very nice.
Thank you.
I know we always want to do it again.
Yes.
And sometimes you have to do it a number of times to really get into the flow.
Yes.
Your drawing's great. Your colors are fun. I'd love to see it when you do it again.
Thank you.
If you get to it with your busy life.
Yes. You can hear the kiddos in the background too. So
my daughter does that. I did it. A lot of us did that. So we support you.
Thank
okay.
you.
Joanne, these look really nice, Joanne. Thank you.
That's beautiful. You can really see the depth in that one.
Oh, that's a star painting.
It was a challenge.
Well,
Yeah, it's
good.
pretty, really pretty.
Then you learned something and look what you created.
Always learning.
Yeah, isn't that, it's a great way to use your mind.
Yes, thank you, Cindy.
Thank you, Joanne. Gallery.
Thank you.
Oh, don't we have fun? All right, Karen. Oh, good to see you, Karen. Replay spotlight. There we go.
Hi, Cindy. I'm just getting into the meeting. I tried to get in, but I kept getting a message that the meeting was full.
Yeah, I have a I've had technical problems with this one, but I'm going to do it again.
Okay. Yeah. So I just played on my own and
did. Yeah,
Great
about
job.
300 people that didn't get in.
wow.
So I'm going to repeat.
Oh, great.
Yeah, probably this week. Lucky me, and send out a new Zoom. You did great on your own.
Thank you.
You know where you're going. And isn't it fun to see the other paintings?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Thank you, Karen.
Thank you.
Yeah, I feel so bad for the people who didn't get in. I'm going to send out the video as soon as I can, and then a new invitation. Okay, Marlene. Let's see, Marlene's. Oh, those are the white
Well, it doesn't
ones.
really show up.
Well, now they do. It depends how you hold it. So what I'll probably do there.
There, that's better.
Pink.
Yes.
The lighting.
Oh,
Those are really
yes.
nice. I like your centers. They really pop.
My
Marlene.
colors, my yellows and greens weren't bright enough.
Well, when I started painting, I would do a painting 3, 4, 5, 6 times. And then, or maybe you just choose the same subject and repeat. And what happens is it really becomes comfortable and natural for you to get what you want. So the first time is just to study. But you've got magic in there with your colors and your values. And if you think, oh, I can do better or I want to do more, then go for it.
Oh, I'll do this again.
Yeah, me too. Thank you. All right, our numbers are going down. I see Hildy. Play spotlight. And oh, Hildy, it's gorgeous.
Oh, pretty.
Isn't it?
Thank you.
Look at her fluid lines.
Very nice.
They're so relaxing to look at. Thank you, Hildy. Let's see, I'll take that off of you. Is there any? Oh, Susan, are you holding yours up? Replay spotlight. Oh, those are gorgeous.
Very nice.
The thing that's so what's so nice about it, it's not overdone. you know, it's just fresh and you captured the magic of the moment without going too far. And that's a beautiful thing. Yeah,
Thank you.
very watercolor. You know, I almost feel like mine are overdone because I was nervous. Whereas I love the style of yours. Okay, I've got tons of messages. Oh, that was the first time for some of you. Welcome. I usually totally have my act together. I do have a Facebook page for Cindy Briggs Art. You could share on there. That would be wonderful. And I will be sending out the recording to everybody. Let's see, add spotlight. Thank you everyone for joining me.
Well, thank you, Cindy.
Thank you,
It
Cindy.
was fun to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I hope you
Bye.
come
Thank you.
back
Thank
when
you.
I do
Bye-bye.
Thank you,
it.
Cindy.
Thanks,
Thank
Cindy.
you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.
Stop
Bye.
recording. Let's see.